Good morning, grade 5. Today our lesson is about the light. First, we have to know what's meant by energy. If I told you that I am full of energy, what I can do with it? I can play, can run, I can walk, I can study. So when I'm having energy, so I can do a lot of work. So the energy is what? The energy is the ability to do work. The energy is the ability to do work. We have a different types or forms of the energy. We have the sound energy, heat energy, electric energy, chemical energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, and light energy. The only type of energy that we can see is the light energy. So the light energy is the only form or the only type of energy that can be seen. And it's very important for our life. We will call the light energy another name, which is what? Which is the visible spectrum. So the light energy is the form of energy that can be seen, and it's called visible spectrum. Called it visible spectrum. Then we would have to know the sources of light, or I can get the light from what? We have two sources of light. A natural source, something that Allah created to us to give us light, and an artificial source, a man-made source or a human-made source. What are the natural sources that Allah created to us and give us light? We have the sun in the morning, and at night we have the stars. But we can't say that the moon is a source of light. Why we can't say the moon is a source of light? Because the moon in the reality is dark or lighted body, it's dark. But why we see it lighted? Because it reflects the sunlight on the earth's surface. It takes the light from the sun and reflects it to the earth. So the natural sources are sun and stars only. The moon is not considered as a source of light. Why or give reason it's not a source of light? Because it reflects the sunlight on the earth's surface. Then we have the artificial sources or the man-made sources or the human-made sources. What we made and give us light, we have the electric lamps, the torch, and the candles. And in the old days when there is no electricity, they use a type of lamp called kerosene lamp. So the artificial sources are the electric lamp, the torch, the candles, and the kerosene lamps. Then we have to know the properties of the light, or what the light can do. The light move or travel in a straight line. If I'm going to draw for you two lamps, the lights that are coming out from the lamp will move in a straight line or in a zigzag line. It will move in straight line. So the light travels or move in a straight line. The light transmits through different materials or move through different materials. We have light reflection, light refraction, and light separation. Again, light move in a straight line, the light travel or move through different materials, the light reflection, light refraction, and light separation. Let's take the first thing, that the light travel in a straight line. How to be sure that the light travel in a straight line? By doing this experiment. If I got three cartons or three cards, A, B, and C, and I will make a small hole in all of them, and from the other side I'll put a lighted candle. Then I will look to it. If A, B, and C are in a straight line, so I can see the flame of the candle. But if I move the second card, B card, to the left or to the right, I can't see the flame. Why? Because the light only moves in straight line. Because the light moves in a straight line, we have to think this format. So what are these two things? We have the formation of image through narrow hole and the formation of shadow. What's mean by that? First, the formation of image by narrow hole. This is the same idea of the what? Of the camera. When you take a picture by the camera, the hole of the camera is big or narrow? It's narrow. So we can take an image by a narrow hole. Let's see this picture. If I'm having a candle, then I'm gonna see it through a box that has a small hole. The light that was coming from up will move and go to the hole and go down. And the light that's coming from down will enter through the hole and be up. So the image that is formed is what? Is inverted or upside down. And it's smaller in size, it's minimized. So the image that is formed through the narrow hole should be inverted upside down and minimized, smaller than its real size. When I ask you why the image that is formed through the narrow hole is inverted and minimized, you're gonna say because the light move in straight line. It's complete. Then we have the shadow, formation of shadow. Your shadow, it's a dark or a lightened area? It's a dark area. Can it form it without having light? No. So when I told you what's mean by the shadow is a darkened area that's formed when the light falls on the opaque object. Again, the shadow is an opaque or a it's a darkened area that is formed when the light falls on an opaque object. And I want you to try this experiment at your home. If you put your hand far from a torch, you will see your shadow on the wall. But if you get your hand closer to the torch, you will have a bigger shadow. So the nearer object to the light source has a bigger shadow. When I put my hand close to the torch, you will have a big shadow. So the nearer object to the light source has a bigger shadow. The second property is that the light transmit or move in different materials or through different materials. Now, what are these different materials? We have transparent, semi-transparent, or we can call it translucent, and opaque. Transparent, semi-transparent, and opaque. For the transparent material, like the air around us, or like the clean glass of the window, if I put a torch through it, it will let almost all of the light pass, or only a part, or it doesn't allow the light to pass. Yes, it allow almost all, which is called most. So it allow most light to pass through it. So the transparent material, like the glass or like the air, allow most light to pass through it. If I put my hand behind the glass, you can see it, yes or no? Yes, you can see it. Clearly with all the details, or not clearly? Yes, clearly. So the object is seen clearly behind it. So for the transparent materials, it allows most light to travel through, and we can see the object clearly behind it. Like what the transparent materials? Like the air, the water, and the glass. Then we have the semi-transparent materials, or we can call it translucent. Like what? Like your tissue paper. If I put a torch behind the tissue paper, it will let all the light to pass or only a part? Yes, only a part will pass. So it allows some light to pass through it. If I put my hand behind the tissue paper, you can see there is a hand? Yes, we can see there is a hand. But with all the details? No, not with all the details. So we can see the object behind it, but less clearly. So for the semi-transparent or translucent material, it allows only some light to pass through it, and we can see the object but less clearly. Like what? The semi-transparent materials, like the tissue paper as we said, and like the screen doors, or it's called frosted glass. The glass of the doors is called screen doors or frosted glass. Frosted glass. The last type of material is the opaque materials. If I'm having a book and I put the torch behind it, it will allow the light to pass, or it doesn't allow the light to pass. Can you see a light passing from the other side? No. So it doesn't allow the light to pass through it. If I put my hand behind the book, can you see it? No, we can't see it. So we can't see the object behind it. So for the opaque materials, it doesn't allow the light to pass through it, and we can't see the object behind it. Like what the opaque materials? Like the carton paper, like the wood, like the human body. So again, for the materials we have transparent, semi-transparent, and opaque. Transparent allow most light, semi-transparent allow some light, and the opaque doesn't allow the light to pass through it. For the transparent, we see the object clearly behind it. Semi-transparent, we see the object less clearly behind it, and for the opaque, we can see the object behind it.